Welcome everybody back to Spinner Rack. I'm here with Kyle and Petey. Today we're going to be discussing worst superhero movies ever.
No, the bombs. They see Batman with the bomb. What bomb the worst?
Okay, welcome everybody back to Spinner Rack. Today I'm here with the two dudes here, and we're going to be talking about the movies, the superhero movies that bomb the most. Listen, I think we should change it. I think we should change it from bomb to
the fact that people. The fact that
Go to your bad movie.
All right, so let's rewind. Welcome everybody back to Spinner Rack. Today we're talking about bad, sucky movies. We're all going to pick our worst movies around, and we're going to start off
because
with
sometimes a bomb isn't actually testament to a bad movie, right? So we're
and actually people can actually go and spend money on the movie, such as Man of Steel, which even though some people may consider it a bomb, actually made tons of money. You know what I'm trying to say?
And it's on one of our lists.
But
Guess who?
Superman #4 clearly sucked out this like an egg. Everybody agrees with that, even Super Dude himself. You know what I'm trying to say? Fantastic Four, what was the name, Trank version? That was a sad version, and probably shouldn't see the light of day once more. And last but not least, Wolverine Origins. I'm a Wolverine fan, but I just cannot support that.
But what about Wolverine's hair, though? I know I'm not supposed to critique, but he, like him and Sabretooth, is like the saving grace of a terrible movie, and maybe how Cyclops looked. That one,
the very fact that
Cyclops that looks like Cyclops.
The very fact that he had sequels, I'm still in shock to this day. I love Logan, one of my top movies of the year last year. I do like the Wolverine, but that movie, if I was a producer or a studio, I would say there's no way we're gonna make a second after this. But they clearly did, and they made more money and more money. So who am I to talk? I'm gonna pass this off now to my boy, Petey. What is your take on this, Petey?
Then I'm gonna have to steal some thunder from someone, or maybe from our boy over here, and. Basically,
Batman 66, you're going to go against that?
I'm going to go against Batman 66. I'm going to go with Man of Steel.
What?
Because Man of Steel is a movie which I would consider unwatchable.
What?
It is narratively, in a storytelling sense, if you didn't understand that other word, you cannot watch this movie and you just trail off. It's not that you get bored because there's action all over, but I don't understand how one scene connects to the other. It's all a big hodgepodge of stuff. And then after they get past the hodgepodge in the beginning, because they do this time, and like the thing of doing flashbacks and nothing connecting. But then when you get to the action, just stop blowing up everything. Superman, don't punch the person that destroys half the block. And don't punch Superman. Obviously, the villains will do it. But Superman is like, well, I got to treat him in kind. I'm doing my Hancock. So
I'm not taking scared from anybody.
There's so much in there that's terrible. So I'm going to have to cut it short and go to the succession of Punisher movies.
Every
Punisher movie.
It's
all in a line. Though you might have some better filmmaking, from the Dolph Lundgren to the one with John Travolta. Once you just throw John Travolta in there as the stock Italian villain, and then you had the last one, which I didn't see.
Wait, I take offense. If you're going to throw in a whole series,
someone
could have thrown a whole series of Superman films, but no one did that.
Because we have good ones.
There was probably one or two good ones, but the 3 and 4 were suckers.
I would say
you know what I'm
three, as bad as
I'm just saying, so you cannot say
watchable.
that.
Man of Steel is not watchable.
Yeah. Okay, I'm saying.
And the Punisher,
all the Punishers. You're talking about
the Punisher
4 films. You can't just throw a whole
4. It's 3.
3 films. You can't just throw a whole 3 films. I'm just giving one, and you're giving. I could throw in like another Superman if you want to do that.
Superman 4. Okay.
Don't worry, I'm throwing a whole bunch of Batman in there for you.
So then.
No. We said 3 films. You guys can't count. 1, 2, try.
No, I said it was a series.
No, choose one. Right. Just choose one. Choose one. I like the Punisher, so choose one.
Which one you like? I
like the last one. The last one.
People say they
the Punisher was that the Warzone?
Warzone. Yes. So they haven't really made it.
That was a dark comedy. That was.
Oh, they're trying to do what's the name? The Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon sort of stuff. But
all I'm saying is just choose one. Just choose one. So the Dolph Lundgren one
is gonna have to be it.
Let's
but
be fair.
But the thing, I had to go to the second one because it should have been better.
You had the same thing about Hulk, and the Hulk second one wasn't that much better.
No, that's watchable. I can enjoy.
Yeah, it
that
is.
point. So that's like the Punisher, the second one, and then when they have John Travolta being dragged at the end, they're like that.
Yeah,
scene.
Punisher films for the most part. Yeah, sorry, man. That scat on toast, man. There's nothing else to say there.
I'm counting that as your 3. That's
No,
it.
no.
No, he's got one more.
I'm not,
No,
I'm
let's
counting
hear the
his
last
3.
one. Let's hear
I'm
the
counting
last
his
one.
3, man.
Oh, come on, you gotta let us go. You gotta let it go. Lastly,
Think
I
carefully. Superman.
have to go.
Superman
And
4.
I'm gonna say one of the biggest bombs, of course, is Dark Phoenix, but I'm gonna caveat it with that Marvel Studios screwed it over because you had your Captain Marvel and you stole all the thunder from it. You put Captain Marvel in the 90s. You had the Skrulls when they had shapeshifters in the Dark Phoenix movie, and you said, you know what, you can't do this ending in the UN anymore. You're gonna do it on the train. And the fact that all those bits are in the Dark Phoenix movie, and you say, you know what, and Dark Phoenix will come out before Captain Marvel. No, I'm not gonna do it. That's the biggest bomb, and that's Marvel's fault, and that's wrong. And then now you're yanking it from theaters. What else is out there? Well, we're gonna put some more Avengers on it. You screwed it again. That's
Yeah.
criminal.
Screw the pooch.
Give a new trailer and sell it, because it's the X-Men. You got the girl who's in the what's her name, but no,
Game of
Marvel's-
Thrones.
In Game of Thrones, and she looks solid as Jean Grey. This is the first point where she looks like she's Jean Grey. Cyclops doesn't look like Cyclops, but he looks like a guy playing Cyclops, and it's like, nope. Everyone's just like this, like a ambulance just going fire, going downhill, going into the water.
You caught that backhanded backhanded compliment?
So it's just wrong. I would be okay if it was a bomb, because you know how I feel about the X-Men. But for the Captain Marvel to take place in the 90s, the same point when we knew this X-Men movie would take place in the 90s. Wrong. So what? You just put a dance song in there, but it's like I'm just a girl in there, and then Dark Phoenix is good?
But it feels good.
Wrong, Marvel Studios. Wrong. But that's the biggest bomb.
That was such a disappointment because they had the first appearance of Dazzler inside of the film.
It's a gorgeous, it's a great scene.
And it just didn't. I was like, wow. Normally you can see this correlate to the comics. Like, okay, there's some more interest. No, it didn't take off at all. At all.
I'm saying in cosplay, I saw Dazzler work, and I was like, wow, Dazzler actually works. as
Which
a
outfit?
costume.
Original outfit?
Original outfit.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. I could see that working.
Yeah, so.
We digress, gentlemen.
Yes, I very much so.
Okay.
Kyle,
All right, my top or bottom 3, whichever one works better.
Let's hear your scat.
Batman v Superman. Okay.
That made one of the biggest box office in
That
the
is
world.
a horribly.
It
That
made
is that
so
is
much
that is a
money.
great continuation for Man of Steel, where it's like unwatchable because it doesn't make. It's just a bunch of stuff happening. It's a big cluster cluck at the end of the day. There's just nothing going on.
It was a very
worthwhile.
enjoyable movie.
And then
Clustercluck.
it ends with the big thing is we're supposed to see this fight between Batman and Superman. That is one of the shortest periods of the whole thing. I think they spent more time. They spent more time with Batman trying to get the kryptonite than they did with that whole fight. The fight was totally unbelievable. I could understand if, Superman was beating him down, Batman's on the ropes, and then he pulls out the kryptonite and he scores the win that way. But you can't have, okay, we're meeting. Superman's like, I'm not even going to try to talk to you too much. Let's just get to it. Let's just get fight. Takes Batman, flings him 50 feet. He's in all this armor, and Batman's like, oh, and he gets up. I'm like, no, fight's over. Fight's over. No, okay, let's do it again. This time he throws him what? 100 feet. He's like, fight's over.
He's not
No,
saying
Superman
that.
wasn't
He's
trying to
not
hurt
saying
him.
that.
He was just trying to
It
stop
doesn't
him.
matter if
What
you're
is
trying to
that?
hurt
Yeah,
him.
he wasn't trying
Shock
to.
absorbers. There's no shock absorbers in that sort of armor.
How do you know?
Like,
Have you
it's
worn that
in
type
his
of have you worn that type of armor?
If I put
I think you're talking about something you don't know.
Your,
so you just
automo-
stop it, all
your
right?
automobile has shock absorbers. If I put you in it and threw you 100 feet, it's not going to matter. He then takes him and he flies him through a building. He flies him through a building. This guy's holding on. And you're like,
doesn't have anything on his face.
right, there's nothing to protect over here. It's like, fight's over. He's like, no, okay, takes the kryptonite, shoots him. Then he's beating on him. He's wailing on his powers come back. He throws him through a wall and a floor. Fight's over. Just terrible. Okay.
Does he need help? Or what?
I understand.
Does he need help?
See, I understand. You get your jollies. You were the only person over there with the popcorn box, and you're like, yeah, this is great for your obvious reasons. Then, okay,
Hey,
fantastic.
Did I not say this was not that great? Did I not encourage people? So don't say I don't just automatically.
And he thought this was great. The same person who illustrated that Batman Superman fight that they were trying to mock inside of the film.
So what's your number two? What's
Number
your
two, Fantastic Four direct-to-video film. The story behind that, the guy
was
who
in that
owned,
one?
I don't even remember. Nobody's. The guy who did this film owned the rights to the Fantastic Four. Marvel wanted the rights back, so they weren't giving him any clearance to make the film. They, couldn't get a budget or anything, but he still had the rights to make a film. So he was trying to renegotiate. Marvel was like, no, we're not going to do that. We want the rights back so we can make our own film. So he made a film. He made a god-awful film and then told Marvel he was going to release that. They saw how bad it was. They said, okay, no, we'll work stuff out. They renegotiated the rights, gave him money so they would not pull that.
Roger Corman.
Right.
Roger
And then he ended up.
He's a filmmaker.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
he's a legend.
And then he ends up
So he was-
releasing. The first Fantastic Four film that actually comes out in theaters. That's actually his film. Okay, which is to his credit is a lot better than that direct-to-video one, despite all the criticisms that people give it. And then my last, okay, and one that I really think deserves to be on this list, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Okay, which should show us that two films that Batman was in cannot make a film any better.
What two films you talking? We're talking about one film. One film. Just talk about one film.
Batman v Superman. And the Adventures of Batman and
Is
Robin.
that the serial?
That's the one with.
No, that's the one with
Jack-
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And
Oh, okay. Batman.
Kill the heroes.
Oh, Batman and Robin.
yeah, Batman and Robin. That's what it was called.
Oh.
Remember?
Everybody,
Remember the bat
chill.
nipples? You remember the bat nipples on the suit? You remember that, right?
That was in Batman. That was in Batman Forever too. They
Yeah,
had him in
but
there.
they was more
And they had
prominent
him-
in that one. And that movie didn't suck, unfortunately for you, Mario. So he comes over here. I'm looking at the whole thing. What was one of the dumbest parts?
Chill, everybody, chill.
The dumbest part.
Credit card.
No, how does Batgirl? It's like, is there any security in this place? Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective. He's supposed to have all the security, and literally, she falls ass backwards into finding out who he is. Batman, Alfred of all people, outed him. He was like, "Here you go. Here's all the information, all the plan. We don't know who this person is."
Yeah, my aunt used to say, "Was it soup me up, Uncle Alfred?"
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, everybody. One honorable mention.
Oh God, I didn't even think of this. Ooh, I'm not ready.
One honorable mention.
One honorable mention. Let me think. Ugh. I don't know. There's so many Batman films I could throw in here.
You know what? Forget the honorable
No,
mention.
No,
you
no.
do it.
Spin a rack.
You start out. No. You go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm not
Start
even.
it off. Start it off. Let us think.
You can't think of
Got
anything.
one. He doesn't want to say it.
Yes, you're right. I don't want to say it.
I'm
Go ahead,
going,
say it.
I'm going for mine. The Hulk movie, the first one.
With Eric Bana.
With the panels, you have the Eric Bana with
Mm-hmm.
the panels, like not understanding that these comic book panels move forward the story. They're not the same, same moment.
It's not static.
He doesn't understand there's not different angles of the same shot. Like, come on, the Hulk, the gamma rated dogs. I like it. Like all that stuff. The Hulk bleeding out when he gets smaller. They only have one good scene where the Hulk is leaping and then he says puny humans at some point. But that's it. Everything else is just like, what the hell is this? When one of my favorite actresses, Jennifer Connelly, is in there, she meets up there, like, all right, this is gonna be a good scene. The Hulk is there, Hulk is standing there, and then the Hulk starts to shrink, and then Bruce Banner's there, and then there's a big puddle. There's a big puddle around the Hulk. What the hell is that?
Urine.
Isn't Jennifer Connelly married to the guy who plays?
Yes, to
Vision?
Vision. Yes. And I'm not happy
The
about
biggest
that.
disappointment
She
about
used to
that
be around
film.
the city. Oh, sorry, I got off track. Okay, let's go.
The biggest disappointment in that film was the explosion, where I was looking forward to seeing, okay, that big atomic explosion that he's caught in, and that was total litosis, total understatement. It was just whack. Go ahead, Mario.
So honorable mention.
Mars.
I really hate to bring this one up, but because I really like the first two movies, but the third one was just absolutely
Wait a second.
unsupportable.
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say one of the first characters to really develop this whole thing. Unfortunately.
What was I gonna say?
Then if you know what I'm gonna say, what am I gonna say?
Blade 3. Blade Trinity.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say Blade Trinity.
You're not? Okay.
I'm gonna say Blade number 3. Okay. So much promise. So much promise. They put more money into the budget for this film. They got actual semi-stars to go with them.
Semi-stars. They have everybody in there.
Yeah, and
They got Deadpool in there.
They got the
They got
Deadpool
Ryan
in-
Reynolds in there.
It
They got
was
the guy who
huge.
was in the Prison Break. He's Dracula. They
They
got
have
Triple H in
they
there.
got what's his name's wife in there. The
Yes.
you know,
now we're calling her what's the name's wife because I couldn't remember her name either. But she's like
let's see,
she
look.
was on Seventh Heaven.
Yeah,
How many
Seventh
other
Heaven.
things? She
I
did
know.
the show Sinner.
Oh,
What's
Justin
Just-
Timberlake's
Justin
wife?
White.
Jessica Biel?
Jessica Biel. So-
Jessica Biel.
That movie.
Jessica Biel.
I went into that movie thinking, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be the culmination of the trilogy," and I was like, "I can't keep watching this."
and they blame.
And it was just
Wesley for that.
it was just a bad movie overall.
and it's like
I
he's
couldn't-
not even. He's like in it for 50, like half of the movie. They give it to the rest of these knuckleheads.
because
and they're
his
not that
team,
good.
his team.
He didn't want a team. It's Blade. It's Blade. Sorry, excuse
We
me.
appreciate all.
These are not
audiences.
well known superheroes. And mine is gonna have to be a tie because they were equally bad. The Lone Ranger and the Green Hornet. Just two horrible.
Yes,
Yes,
together.
yeah.
Those
Those
are
two
two
are
horrible
pretty bad.
movies.
Yeah, they-
And you know what's even worse about them? The Lone Ranger is actually the ancestor of, or rather he's like a forebear of the Green Hornet. Because you have the Lone Ranger, and then he's 2 generations removed from his descendant, who's Kit Harington. No, not Kit. I'm sorry. Kit. Not even. Oh man, I got the names all mixed up. I got Kit Harington, Kit Walker. I can't remember his name exactly. But the Green Hornet is actually like the great grandson or nephew, if I forget exactly how it works, of the Lone Ranger. That Lone Ranger, both of them. Okay. But the one with Johnny Depp was like, what the hell was that?
Well, that was the end, almost the end of Johnny Depp. He went down after that.
And rightfully so. That was terrible. And then you have Seth Rogen. I thought, okay, you're gonna actually do. He said he lost weight for the role, but they decided to play this whole thing as a comedy and some retroactive commentary on how Kato was treated. And I was like, Kato was fine in the original series. Okay, people were watching the show because of Kato. Kato was cool. So
Well-
those are just 2 really bad ones. Really
But
bad.
then,
I'll just add with the Green Hornet. That was actually, who is it? Kevin Smith's dream project. And he then went on a whole tour saying, I couldn't do the Green Hornet because it'd be 2 guys standing by the car doing sex jokes. And somehow that bled into what they actually did. So it stayed a comedy, whereas if Kevin Smith had done it straight, maybe he would have been the blockbuster movie maker. But he likes to be a slacker. But I think that bled over in there because he kept talking about not doing it because it's not his style, even though he said this was the movie he couldn't wait to make.
well, look, if you guys are bringing,
Yep.
that
Daredevil
in-
was the book you couldn't wait
no,
to
if
write.
you guys are bringing in this in, then I have to bring in probably the worst superhero movie of all times. One movie. I thought this was outside the realm, but it's clearly just one person, and M. Night Shyamalan is the
Oh, I gotta
the
get back
perpetrator,
into this.
the perpetrator of this here.
Which one?
Which one of the superhero movies that he's done? You talking about the last one?
The Avatar. He
Oh,
totally
the Mindbender? That one? Okay.
He totally destroyed that. He
That's a
destroyed the
superhero
whole-
movie?
Well, I mean,
That's more
this
like
is-
manga, if anything.
Well, manga superhero. I mean,
No,
It was
not
a
the same.
big bomb. It was a huge bomb.
people
right?
hated it. He didn't follow the conventions. He didn't follow who the actor should be. He didn't follow the story.
It's okay.
And he
He's
put them-
bankable again after Glass. He doesn't care.
Okay, but I'm just saying that if we're gonna do
That's-
anything, we gotta throw that one out.
Signs. I got another honorable mention.
Okay.
Signs.
Okay. All right.
We shouldn't
Okay.
have done 3. We should have done
Later.
more.